According to common belief, changing your skeletal structure at over 18 years old is impossible, or at least minimal, and that it's entirely determined by your genetics, or you can't alter your bone structure without surgery. I believe those claims to be false, and through this skeleton project, I'm going to provide you with the after results. Before we go any further, we have to first go through what makes a good skeletal structure. So let's start with frame. The frame essentially consists of the rib cage, the clavicles, the scapula, the spine, and the pelvis. The rib cage, clavicles, and the scapula give you the width of your frame. And the pelvis plays here a crucial role in complementing your upper body frame. So if you have a bigger, wider pelvis, it's gonna throw off your proportions. And it's really essential in having a good absolute measurement of your bideltoid. Many would argue that shape over size, but it may be true, but the absolute measurement of your bideltoid is still very essential. And this is another example of the case. Even if this guy had a really good shoulder to waist ratio, like a smaller pelvis, still he's gonna be outmarked by this guy right here. Another essential thing in having a good skeletal structure is having tall structure and proportional limbs. So tall structure would include being tall itself, which is very obvious, and having proportional structure. So only by looking at these two images, you can already guess who is taller, even if you wouldn't know who these guys are. And it's because of the structure. One of the ways of saying if somebody has a good tall structure is measuring the head compared to the upper body. So, for example, this guy's upper body is 1, 2, 2.5 heads, and this guy's upper body is 1, 2 heads. Another way of saying if somebody has a good structure or not is comparing the torso, the upper body, to the lower body, legs. So as we can see, Mike Isotel's upper body is below the knees. Below the knees. And David Lade's like above the knees. So as we can see, it's not only about being tall itself, but actually having proportional structure. And having proportional limbs is important too. So David Lade is a perfect example of good limbs. As you can see, his arm is pretty much good size, good length, and having shorter arms are just gonna give you minus points for aesthetics. Another essential thing in having a good skeletal structure is your craniofacial growth. Good craniofacial growth consists of having a wide palate, upwards and forwardly grown maxilla, good cheekbones, meaning high-set cheekbones, good bone mass, wide jaw, and good orbital sockets. So as you can see, these are more hunter-like orbital sockets, and these are more roundish. And this is just an example of a hunter-gatherer skull and the modern day skull. And this is a real-life example of someone who has very good craniofacial growth and someone who has this more of a average, and modern average human skull. Another thing which is very underrated nowadays is having thick bones. So as you can see from this image right here, if you didn't see this bicep picture, you would guess that his muscles are small. But when he flexes, boom, magically his bicep is very big. Honestly, you just can't compensate lack of bones with muscle. It's just gonna look weird. Maybe not in social media, but in real life, it's not gonna look as aesthetic. You're just gonna look more fragile, and just thinner bones in general are worse for strength and power. So having thick bones is really good. And about the compensating thing, for example, if someone didn't have as wide jaw and tried to compensate with overdeveloped masseters, it's gonna look uncanny. So you cannot really compensate lack of bones with muscle. And the same thing is with the legs. You cannot compensate the lack of bones with muscle. It's gonna look little uncanny having more fragile bones and bigger muscles. So now we have gone over the 3 essential things in having a good skeletal structure, and having thick bones is more of a supplementary, because these 3 things are very crucial, but having thick bones is more of a supplementary. So now we're gonna go over my starting point. So these are taken in 22nd of October 2025, and my morning height is 181.5 centimeter, and in the evening it's 180.5 centimeters. And my morning weight is about 68 kilograms, and during the day, in the evening, for example, it's 69 kg. And here are all of my measurements. So my waist size, I have pretty small waist, but I have small frame as a whole, so I gotta bulk up more. And my bone thickness, as you can see from here, isn't really that good. So I gotta get thicker bones. And my frame as a whole is lacking. I have a bit of muscle because I've been in the gym for some time, but I could really use some thicker bones and wider frame. And my intermolar width is, if I remember right, in the average side. So the width between the first molar to the first molar is 36 to 37 millimeters. I would say more on the 36.25 millimeters, but for accuracy, I just typed this. So now we have gone over all of these things, and now we go over the most crucial thing, which is genetics. So you cannot exceed your genetic potential. You cannot exceed your genetic capabilities. You cannot, for example, grow a third hand. But what you can do is get within your genetic potential, get within your genetic capabilities. Humans' genetic potential is far further than we think. You got nothing to lose to get within your genetic capabilities, and after you do that, you're not gonna regret. So yeah, I will now start my skeleton project, and within a week or 5 days, I will post a second video getting more on my plan. So what I will do in the first week. And I was thinking more doing kind of vlog videos and posting my progress and how it is in general. So yeah, that's about it for today's video. If you got any questions or anything regarding this video, you can just comment below. And that's about it for today.